Hello, beautiful souls. How is everybody? We are here today with live readings, and I'm here. I'll be doing live readings. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I did not realize it was St. Patrick's Day until I just tried to go live, and somehow someone said something somewhere. Anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to do live readings today, which means this is your chance to get a live reading with me, which means I will be reading charts. And there is a link in the video. I'm going to go ahead and put that link into the chat, and we'll be good to go. If you already know the drill, you know the drill. If you don't know the drill, the first thing to know is that there is, whoops, that's not what I want to do. There is a delay in the video sometimes. And what happens is sometimes when you join the live, you will not be on the current time. And what I mean by that is maybe I went live before you got there, and there's maybe 20 minutes of time before you even started that it's going to start you at the beginning. And so if you are thinking about getting a reading and you're like, what should I do? The first thing to do is just make sure that your video is on the current time that it is right now, and that you've sped it up. I know if you're on a browser, you could just pull the red bar to the far right, and then you'll be the closest to the current time. And the next thing to know is, even if you don't want to book a reading, please feel free to stay and hang out with us, watch me read charts, chit chat about the eclipses or whatever else. And if you do want to book a reading, the link in the chat is there now. You click that link and it will take you to a page where you can book it. All readings that are booked today will be done today. Oh my God, I hate this so much. I'm sorry, my email just is now. I might switch off of Microsoft. How do you guys feel? I think it's just tracking us now. With the authenticator, I really don't like it. Anyway, I'm that's a side note because now I have to get my phone, which is over there. So, hold on for a second. Okay, sorry. Thank you. It looks like the same amount of people are here. So, thanks, guys. So, I normally keep my phone where I can't reach it when I'm on a live because I want to be able to not think about it. And if someone calls me, I don't want to be thinking about that. One second. Yeah, I think the whole online profile thing is totally concerning. All right, that is handled. Okay, Mark is here. Who else is here? Do you want to say hi in the chat if you're here? Say hello and and let me know you're here. See, now it's beeping at me. That's why I don't like having it. Um, okay, what am I gonna do? Hold on a second. I'm honestly kind of pissed at the moment. Yeah, we'll just do. We'll do this. Sorry guys, I wasn't trying to have this be me staring at the screen working, but it's going to be that for a couple minutes. If you book, let me know. There we go. Okay. Count on. Sorry guys. Mark, thanks for all the compliments. For those of you who are like jumping on and you're like, what's going on? We're going to do live readings. I'm just having a little bit of issue with my email. So I'm trying to change it and it's being kind of a pain. So you guys can just hang out, chill, talk to me for a second until I figure this out. Okay, I think it's working. Okay, I think it's working. So if you book now, I would love it if the first person who books lets me know because I'm having trouble getting into the email I normally use. But it might actually still work. So on my phone. So we're gonna see how it goes. Okay. So this is what we do here. This chart on the screen, this could be your chart. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can choose natal or transit. If you choose natal, then I'm looking at your natal chart and what makes you you. What is interesting about you based on the first thing I notice. And a lot of times, the things that I'm talking about are probably going to be some of the challenges and what you've been through in life. That's usually what I connect with the most are, some of the challenges and when possible, how you can work with them. And so that is that. And if you choose transits, we're going to look at the transiting energies, how the planets are affecting you now. Like how the planets are influencing you. So where is your growth with Jupiter? Where is your current opportunity to make the best of things? What area of life can Jupiter support you in growing, expanding, making the most out of while it's in whatever house it's in Gemini now before it moves into Cancer in June? So that's going to be the first thing. And the next thing is going to be maybe what's slowed down or what's challenged by Saturn or Mars. And how is that affecting you? How's that affecting your life? And what can you do about it? So that is what we do here. And what the way it works is you can book using the link at the top of the chat. And then you get your reading. And they go in the order that they are received. So whoever books first gets to be first. And that is how it goes. So for those of you who are booking, please comment in the chat that you have booked, because that is important, especially today, because I'm not sure if I'm going to see them. I will be able to see them, but I might not get the notification right when you book. So I can actually see if you scheduled. So yes, that is what we are doing. This chart could be your chart. And again, you get a choice between natal or transit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to book this if you would like to. So we are going to stop with that. We're going to go as if you are watching the live. So we're going to share this tab instead. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, you're going to see something like this. Now, if it's on mobile, of course, it's going to look different. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. So what you do is you find this pinned comment where I say use this link to book, and you click on that. And then it's going to take you to this page. And this page is a scheduling page. And so what you do is you click book. Don't worry that it's not the current time. If I put it at this time, then at 7:28, 1 minute later, it's going to go off because it thinks, oh, the class is over. So then you fill all this out. Your first and last name, phone number, email, and then your birth info. And then you have to click, I understand astrology readings are for entertainment purposes only, and there are no refunds. Yes. And then you choose transits or natal. Transits is going to be like an energy snapshot of what's happening now. The natal chart is going to be a snapshot of what stands out to me in your chart. That could be anything. It might be something challenging. And then continue to payment. I'm not going to do that part, but when you do that part, it'll take you to that page and then you'll be set. So that is what it is. So whoever books first will be first, and make sure you let me know in the chat that you are that you have booked, and then I will find your booking and we will go from there. I'll get your chart in and then I'll do the reading for you, and it'll be probably about 7 minutes. I used to do like a 5-minute timer and then I would keep going, but I'm going to start just doing 7 minutes because I think they end up being 7 minutes anyway. So that is what we are doing. And a lot of people like these because it's just fun. I mean, it's fun, but also it's fun if you're ever thinking maybe someday you might get a reading. It's sometimes nice to have a little kind of an easier way to just see if you like that person's reading style. That, doing a one-on-one Zoom call takes a bit of trust. Like, you have to trust that the person's not going to be a jerk, or they're not going to, like, I don't know, look at your chart and call you a loser or something. I will tell you what's up with your chart, but I'm always going to do it from a place of I'm going to try to do it from a place of love, right? I'm going to try to do it from a place of, this is who you're supposed to be. So let's work with it. Not from a place of, oh, people with this in their chart are the best and people with this in their chart suck. I can't stand that shit. Because we're not all supposed to be celebrities. We're not all supposed to be millionaires. There are so many people who have, beautiful purpose that aren't necessarily on the top, or not necessarily the most, famous. There's some people who I believe to live out their purpose, something like fame or lots of money might get in the way of that. So, we're not going to be and what we're not going to do, okay, is we're not going to say, oh, if you have this placement, you're going to be a millionaire, and give a list of 27 different things. That shit's not really real. I mean, someone with Jupiter in their 10th house might not have the best wealth or the best luck. They might, but they also might not. And astrology isn't that simple. So sometimes I don't know if you guys have ever seen those videos that are top wealth placements or top placements for fame or top placements for this. And it's a lot of us are not going to have any of those. I don't have any of them. I don't have a single one of those. So if you are in the no top placements club, you're welcome here. This channel is about helping you use astrology as a tool to be the best person you can be, to be in your purpose. And that's what it's for. So if anybody has booked, please let me know in the comments. And that will help me out to be able to see that. And yeah, then we'll go from there. Okay. Okay. Don't say that. I'm deleting that comment. You're not the only one here. And it's weird. Maybe it was supposed to be funny. That's fine. Okay, so for anyone else jumping on, we are doing live readings, which means you can actually book a reading with me here on the live and get your chart read. It is on the YouTube channel. It is fun. And this is what we do on this channel sometimes. And how it works is you can use the link at the top of the chat to book your reading. And then I will read your chart and tell you what it means. Either that or I'm going to tell you what your transits mean. So, the transits being the energies that are affecting you now, and the chart being a snapshot of what makes you you. Okay. So the way it works is you can see this chart on the screen. This could be your chart. And if this is your chart, I would find the most interesting thing about the chart, which would be, ooh, the North Node is conjunct the Sun today. That's a once a year transit. A good day today to think about your purpose, to think about what matters most to you, what you want your life direction to focus on, or to just be yourself. It's a good day to just be you. Now take that within limits, of course. And then, I would just keep going around and I would just find, okay, this person has Jupiter in their ninth. So they're going to be, this is going to be their approach to religion and philosophy and a higher power. They're going to be more glass half full type people. They're going to be optimistic. And what else? Okay, let me think. What else? Well, then if you, what's Mars doing up here in the 10th and what's it connected to, So in this case, we have a Mars Saturn trine. So I would tell you about what that means about your personality, how it's like it's not as good as you might think it is. People just think trines are good and trines are good and squares are bad. It's not quite like that. So, I thought so, Mark. So it's not quite like that. Trines are not just good, squares are not just bad, it's more complicated. Okay, what else? Okay, so tonight I'm having email issues. So if you book, you need to let me know. I can see that no one has booked, but I won't, I'll be able to see it. I just won't get the notification, I don't think. So because of that, you'll just need to tell me in the chat, which is fine. I'll still get them and we're still doing it. So like I said, this is a chart that's up. If you booked a live, this could be your chart. And if this was your chart, we would go around and I would spend 7 minutes telling you what I think the most significant thing is. Now, if you choose transits, whoops, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. That was a little harder to show than I thought it would be. I'm going to pull up my chart to show you guys what that would be. Okay, I'm using my chart for this. This would be if you asked for transits. I would look at this chart and tell you what I see and what really stands out. So I would probably start with Saturn on the moon and the challenges that go with that and how to work with them and how the North Node might be expanding that at the moment. I'd also probably pay attention to the fact that the South Node is here on the ascendant and it is going to get closer to it, which can have some effects on the personality, the life force energy, the body. And it's all about releasing and becoming more spiritual. So, I would talk about that. And then I might see, Jupiter up here in the 10th and what's possible with that. Mars in the 11th and the challenges or the possibilities that might bring. And even just the fact that Mars was retrograde and now it's not quite out of shadow yet, but it's starting to move. So we could see the third house areas of life and the eighth house areas of life having movement. So it would talk about what that movement might look like, what it would mean for someone to have those areas of life be moving forward. If there's car troubles that couldn't be addressed or stalls or something, if there's with the eighth house, if there's problems with debt or problems with owing other people money or even client one-on-one clients, because this is your client's money right here. So when your eighth house ruler goes in a bad situation, well, that your client's money, your clients don't have money or their money is in a bad situation, which is usually you don't have enough of it, right? Okay. So that's just an example of what I would do in a reading. And yeah, so we are booking live readings. We're going to hang out until someone books. And then usually what happens is one person books, everybody wants to book. And then, and then, we keep going. And it just keeps going like that until I'm tired. Usually we go until I'm tired or until it slows down a little bit. But usually it does. Like one person will get in and then everyone else wants to. So if you want to get it done fast and you don't want to wait, then I recommend going sooner. And if you're online, because I can see that there are people watching, if you're here and you're online right now and you have had a reading with me like this and you want to share in the comments what it's like, then you can do that. You're more than welcome to. You're always more than welcome to. Okay, so I'm just gonna change it so people can book a little bit later. I had some issues when I came on, actually. Some things I had to fix, but that is okay because we're here. And we're here on St. Patrick's Day, and I know on the Pacific, in Pacific time. I almost said on the Pacific coast. That's not what I meant. Over here in the West where I am, it's about 7. So it's perfect because it's like 7, 8, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I hope some people in other places are tuning in as well. And we have a little bit of time here. So that is what it is. So like I said, if you choose transits, you can get a transit reading and I'll look at your chart and tell you about the transits. One other type of reading that I love doing that most people never want to do, but I wish more people would do, is the lunar return. Why? Because it's a snapshot of your month. The only thing is the lunar return is going to start at a different time for everyone. So it won't be from today for the next 30 days. Like for example, I just pulled mine up. This is my lunar return chart. This chart starts on the 28th. So I'm probably going to go, let's see, I could do the 27th. So I could read from now until the 27th. It's going to be this. And from the 27th for that next lunar month, it's going to be this chart. I like this chart better because look at Jupiter on the midheaven. Yay. I'm excited about that now. So then I'm just going to start reading this chart until someone books, and you guys need to tell me in the chat if you book, because I don't know if I'll be getting the information. Oh, Mark, are you having trouble with your phone? What about everyone else? Are the phones working? Is the technology okay? Okay, so okay, yes. So I was gonna just kind of give a little demo here of this lunar return. In this lunar return, the sun and the moon are the second house with Saturn and Mercury, which kind of does give a vibe of like focusing on money, but focusing on money challenges, focusing on what you're going to let go of, how you're going to solve things, that kind of thing. And with the North Node here, look at all these planets in the second house. This would be a money month, and it probably is not a good one because Mars trines Saturn. So it's like the work that you're doing would be it might make money, but it will feel really slow. That's what I would say. And now there's other things I would say here, right? Like Jupiter in the fifth, a good month to be flirting. I'm just doing this one as like a demo for you guys. This is a demo of a lunar return reading. So you can book using the link. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add this. And I think this will help. There, yes. Okay, that's perfect. Better, huh? Better. Okay. Okay, so here we are, and this would be a lunar return. So then I'm seeing Jupiter. What is it squaring the sun? Okay, and the sun in the natal chart of this person rules the 12th house. So Jupiter is going to help the sun. Jupiter is going to help this person to see how they are self-sabotaging related to finances. And that doesn't always, that's not always easy, but it's going to make that process more beneficial and possibly bring a more enlightened perspective and more, more, I don't know, more awareness around that. Now, what else? Well, we have Mars and Venus in a square. So I would also tell this person to flirt this month because there's this tension between Mars and Venus. Usually that's like a flirtatious kind of a thing, especially a square. Oh, Morty is leaving a comment. I'm going to just leave that there. Thank you so much, Morty. And then, this person would be probably putting some energy into work, staying busy, putting their time into things that relate to fighting or relate to striving. And then, it can be a busy month or it can be a time where you just have things you need to do. But being in Cancer, it almost gives a vibe of like, you have stuff to do, but it's hard to make yourself do it because Mars in Cancer doesn't really want to get up and go. Mars in Cancer really doesn't. It's not like all people with Mars in Cancer can't do it. It's not like that at all. But just that the effect that it has is like it. Oh, Adam, it looks like Adam booked. Okay, see, I knew my email wouldn't tell me. Okay, so Adam has booked. We're going to do Adam's reading. Adam, if you're here, let me know. Let us know. And I'm going to get your chart ready. Yay, I don't have to keep reading my own chart. I don't mind. I think from now on, maybe we shall do that. And I will start by giving myself a reading because I never do that enough. And okay, so I'm going to pull up Adam's chart and we will go from there. Okay, maybe it did work. Okay, maybe it did work. Yes, it worked. Okay, so the email problem worked. Outlook gives me it goes ding. Gmail doesn't. So I'll have to figure out how to fix that, but I don't know how. Okay, so Adam, hey, good to see you. It is a long time no see. Someone else who did the Saturn course reached out recently too. If I remember correctly, you were in that one, right? So maybe there's something in the astrology that's bringing old students back to me. Not old like bad, but just students from the past showing up again. I'm not complaining about that. Okay, so I have the confirmation. I have your chart. I'm gonna pull that up. Let me see which. Okay, so here we are. And then let me see what you booked transits. Okay, cool. We're going to do that. Yeah, okay, yeah. See, I remember. Um, Oops, I was trying not to do it like this. I wanted to do this. Okay, here we go. We have the chart up. Anyone else who wants to book, you can book. And we're going to keep on going. All right, so I'm going to set the timer and we're going to start. Okay, let's see. Well, the moon is hitting Saturn right now. Sometimes that's a bummer. It's a bummer, or like for me, I always get really fucking sad. But sometimes it's just like your mind is on more serious matters, right? And so that's happening until tonight around 10, 11 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what time that is for you, but it kind of makes me feel like, tomorrow will be better. If today was hard, it might not have been. But if there's a lot of focus on having to, step up to some kind of responsibility or something, then that can be, that can pass soon. Let me see what else is just striking me as far as, yeah, Venus retrograde trine Mars. Okay, so Venus, what does Mars rule actually? What is it? Let me see. Your ninth house and your money. So money and spirituality is getting a positive reassessment from Venus of value. So it's like, first of all, it makes it easier to want to do your Mars stuff. And okay, if I remember, are you the one that does like rock music or something like that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you told me about that with all these on the midheaven. So you might be more creative or if that's true, going back over old songs, whatever Mars and Sagittarius type thing, that Mars and Sag energy of wanting to conquer everything. Venus makes it easier. and brings a bit of magnetism when it's trining Mars. So it's like in your relationship, there can just be either more chemistry type things. Also, Jennifer, I got you. You'll be next. More chemistry type things, or flirting and stuff. Or it's possible with Venus retrograde. It's more like let's reassess our romantic life or our dating life or something. But that reassessing could also have to do with other Mars stuff like the finances. And maybe it's like reassessing how you spend, reassessing how much you get to keep versus other people, things like that. I didn't even see the moon there. It is, in fact, a bummer. I'm sorry it's a bummer. Um, the good thing is that I don't know what the bummer is, though. I just know that it's every month. I'm like, fuck, the moon's on Saturn again. Yeah, see, I remember this. I remember this. So, like, Venus being trine that Mars might be um, you, you know, having some reflections on that and possible reflections about finances or something. With Mars being so close to Uranus, I feel like Venus can be activating a desire to change your life or your career trajectory. But the problem with Uranus shit is that it doesn't always, you can't always do it right now. You just want to. You know what I mean? So, like, Uranus will make you want to leave your partner, and it's okay. We're going to hope that worked. I'm going to have to check that, and I'm going to pause your timer so I can check the sound because I just totally fucked it up. I touched it. You're not supposed to touch it. And then sometimes I think it's working and I come back and it's trash. Yeah, I think it did work. Okay, we're good on that. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Okay, so back to your chart. Yeah. What else? Yeah. We have, well, so Venus could also be, with Venus, Mercury in the money house, it can also be just like, what's my money plan for having an abundant life? Just kind of thinking about those kind of things. The second house is also your stuff. And so it might be about getting rid of certain things, releasing certain things, wanting to upgrade a table or wanting to kind of redo a thing that's like um, any kind of thing you could own, anything you own. And you're like, oh, I want to refurbish this, thing or paint my refrigerator or something. But it could also be like, oh, maybe I want to sell something. That could be it too. Um, I don't think these are going to mess you up too bad financially, though. If I had Venus or Mercury in the second, I wouldn't be worried about losing money or something. Okay, what else do I see? I'm just scanning to see what the most important thing is. Mars has been trying Saturn, and that's kind of a bitch too. Because it's like things might feel like they move slower than you want them to. And I'm going to go back to when this was. Oh, wait. Okay, so let me rephrase that because it's actually way far away from that. So I'm going to take that back. I think if anything, Mars being not retrograde anymore, but also not out of shadow yet, makes me feel like the financial stuff and the spiritual stuff maybe were reassessed back in like December, January, February, and now it might be time to see uh, um it might be like starting to pick up some momentum. And that could even just be like being busier at work now. Um, let's take this off. I had this on forever. But that doesn't feel very good and exciting to me. So I want to find something else. Jupiter conjunct the IC. This suggests that there are there's growth in the home. Now, growth in the home could be growth in the family, and that I'm not predicting that that will be something you find out about. I'm looking at back around the third beginning of this month. Jupiter was conjunct that IC. I'm going to finish this thought about Jupiter here, and then we'll move on to the next one. So, Jupiter conjunct the IC is going to be, um, it can be a few different things. Okay, so it can go a couple different ways. One way it can go is like, it can make you have more awareness of your own inner world and your own emotions, and right, because the fourth house is like our deeper foundations and roots, and Jupiter there is like, sorry, I lost it. I'm gonna stay with this. It's like good therapy, man. I mean, that's the metaphor. It's good therapy, it's good medicine. It's healing, emotional healing. It's healing family trauma wounds or something, and healing that with Chiron and Gemini. Healing or working through the feeling that your family doesn't listen to you or doesn't hear you. Um, Now, this could also be growth of the home can be literally you're adding a new, you know, adding a new room to the house. Okay, here's what he's saying. It's making sense. Had a random disagreement with a band member and friend for 20 plus years about booking shows, selling albums out of nowhere. Okay, yeah, so that might also be that Venus retrograding over Mars, of like the values of that work, and that sort of sudden, yeah, sudden explosive argument with a band member. I That makes so much sense. And then this Jupiter here being like, maybe there was difficulty, but also maybe something about whatever was happening back at this point maybe had some therapeutic value at the same time. Jupiter can make it better. Now, there could also just be everyday stuff with Jupiter in the fourth, like, again, like adding something to your home or making it better, improving your house in some way, bringing Jupiter like stuff to the home. So that's like, in this case, it's in Gemini, right? So you could have gotten some camping gear, some gaming equipment, or you could have, oh, I don't know, like added some books, spiritual books or something like that, or gotten a little Buddha statue or any kind of like spiritual thing to you, and like added that, made your home more spiritual, more Jupiter like, or been studying at home or something from that time. And I would say, Jupiter's going to be here. I'm going to finish with this thought and we're going to go to the next person. Jupiter's going to be here until June. So, like, how do you make the most of this Jupiter in the fourth? Like processing your emotions. I know it sounds cheesy, but Jupiter, what it's going to help you with doing is like healing from old hurts, because the fourth house is like your emotional foundations. Healing from old hurts, contemplating, understanding your own feelings, getting to know why you feel the way you feel, and having, an easier time working through that stuff than you normally would. Especially, another thing too, oh, I wanted to finish. I have to keep going. I have to say this is, and I'll tell you the date on this too. Same thing. Early this month, Jupiter was actually opposite your midheaven. Now that's actually a good thing because it's Jupiter and the midheaven is like the career. So I don't know if maybe this was the band member thing and it changed the trajectory suddenly of what you're doing, the work you're doing in the world now. I can't remember if you have a different full-time job, but if you do, or part-time or whatever, then this could be something positive related to that, where it's like more, more work. Maybe more work has to be done now, and there's the opportunity of growth in that sense. So, um, yeah, I'm going to stop there on that. I hope that was helpful. I hope we covered enough positive stuff. But thank you so much for booking. And let's see this comment here. Dealing with a student who's causing all kind of disruption, trying to process all this. Yeah, okay, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I do think Jupiter can help with the processing and looking within and all of those things. Um, and I also think, yeah, Mars was kind of triggering some of this stuff too, I think. And yeah, that's what I think. And it is Saturn Sun. So honestly, guys, Saturn Sun is kind of a buzz killer day of the year. And that was like, wait, forget I said that. That was that back then. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong day. But I also I feel like, I mean, first of all, just the moon getting off Saturn is going to help. It's going to help. And, with Mars moving away from these things, I think that's also going to help. And I think even Jupiter kind of getting further away. So I think that what you're dealing with is going to be just you move through it. I don't see any big, huge explosions happening in the next few days or anything, or even necessarily a few weeks. I think it's like processing everything that happened. Okay, I'm going to stop there because of time. Thank you so much for booking. And we're going to go on to the next person, which is, oh, hey, I love this. Look, gaming equipment. You just bought a soccer goal to play soccer. I love it. Yes, I love it when it just matches up like that. All right, we're going to the next person. Let's see who else we have. We had Adam. Now we have Jennifer, and it is open after Jennifer. So if you're watching, the bookings are still open. So Jennifer, I'm checking it out. And I'm gonna see if I have you in here. If not, I'll add you and then we'll get going. I do not have you, so I'm going to add you. And then we will go from there. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for booking. It's always good to stay in touch, and I always love doing these. All right, so then Jennifer, I am getting your chart up, and then we will go from there. All right. Okay, now I need to see. Okay, so you chose natal, so that means I'm going to look at your natal chart. And I'm going to tell you what I see. So this is exciting. Anyone else, the bookings are open. I will announce once I'm finished with the last one. Who's next and what order? Okay, why does it keep doing that? Okay, so we have your chart up, and Let me set that timer for 7 minutes. And, the first thing I noticed that's like just the most noticeable to me about your chart are two main things. Number one is moon in the 10th, moon in Taurus. Good. That's a good moon. And Mars in Leo conjunct the ascendant. Okay. So Leo rising, is normally going to be usually a little bit performative, a little bit like they want to demonstrate things. Sometimes they like playing a character. Sometimes that Leo energy is expressed more as they are in a manager position. And with, Moon in Taurus in the 10th and Mars conjunct the ascendant in the first, I would not be surprised if you have had leadership positions or if you, I don't know why I'm nervous. Well, hopefully this is fun and you get less nervous as we go. Feel free to chat with me as we go too, if you want. But I would say this is someone who definitely, number one, aspires to have wealth and luxury. With the Leo, the Libra, and the Taurus, these are all like the top three for like want to be rich. I'm not saying want to be like you're a wannabe. I mean, like they desire that. They want high quality things, a high quality life, but you've got the South Node in the 10th. So it's like you wouldn't want to be famous for the sake of fame. You wouldn't want probably even like fame for the sake of fame. People with the South Node in the 10th sometimes think the rat race is a fucking joke and it's stupid and they see through it and they don't love getting to the top at any expense. And so even if they are in like a high position, they're going to dislike that aspect of it very, very much. Okay, yeah, and then your midheaven ruler conjunct the ascendant does kind of give the sort of stereotype here would be personal brand or face of a company or yeah, again, just like someone who leads other people or teaches them or something. That Aries, Mars here, Aries is very instinctual. So sometimes when you have Mars, a strong Mars, which conjunct the ascendant is strong, you might like teaching or you might like doing something else where you are either up in front of people or where you get a chance to like do whatever and then like feel something in the moment and act out that feeling or express that feeling. Yeah, I don't want superficial success. Yeah, that makes so much sense for this South Node. Because whatever this is like what you don't like. And it's the 10th house, so it's like the fake the fake designer bags and stuff, the fake recognition or accomplishment. But it's when it's like empty or shallow, definitely. Okay, so those are some major things I see right away. Let's think about, I'm just looking to see what else is like super jumping out. The moon is square Mars. Okay, so the moon is your spiritual life, and Mars is going to stimulate that. Mars is going to stimulate that. You might have a desire to actually be like a spiritual influencer. Um, Mark says that's a good chart. Thank you, Mark, for those comments. But yeah, Jen, if you want to share, if you want to do something where it's like either a spiritual influencer or do something that works with the subconscious mind, like hypnotherapy or theta healing, or even something more that's a little more social oriented, like, and maybe you already do some of this stuff where it's like it's about helping people with their emotional problems or their spiritual problems or to kind of understand how they self-sabotage. But another way this could show up is actually that you, for some reason, I'm not sure if that lands for you, but it would make so much sense because you also have the moon or a hospital. Are you like, I'm so fascinated by this because you also have Neptune with Uranus here in the sixth, which is like Neptune in the sixth gives me healing vibes, And then Saturn, okay, Saturn in the eighth sometimes can be therapists because they can handle other people's trauma and crisis. It doesn't scare them. So Saturn in the eighth has kind of a reputation for that, is like the planets in your eighth house is kind of like what other people are going to bring to you. And Saturn is like their woes, you know, people are going to bring you their woes. Um, yeah, I don't know what that is though. When you say it makes me feel that too. But yes, there's like a lot of this chart is like a need to go into deeper psychological topics and like have that intellectual stimulation, or like, you know, watch psychological thrillers or serial killer movies, or like have that intensity and really enjoy that. Plus with Jupiter in the North Node in Scorpio, we're going to see like a love of conspiracy theories, or a love of like the deeper occult topics, and also a love of getting to the bottom of why people feel the way they feel. Are you a therapist? Or do you want to be? Because wow, I mean, I mean, there's such a strong pull there to those kind of things. Let me see what else I can see though, because I feel like I wanted to go back to this Mars Moon square and go a little bit deeper in this. Um, so the moon in Taurus is like stabilized emotions. It's a desire for quality things. It's, you know, steady. It has, you have stamina, but you also kind of know, in certain ways, Moon in Taurus really does know how to take care of themselves and wants the nicer things. You want the nicer furniture, you want nice clothes, you want nice everything. You know, you want your life to be high quality and not fake, but just like good. And then Mars stimulates that. But Mars also stimulates this 12th house and it's visible. So it's like, this could be used maybe telling your story about what you've been through psychologically or something. Okay, you help people with health and nutrition. Well, don't feel like if you weren't going to go into healing, don't feel like you have to do that now. Just because I said that, you know, like trust whatever feels like it's really right for you. But, you know, the moon also is like nutrition. And I just feel like if you're whatever you're doing, like I think you have the placements to work independently, to be a self-starter, to accomplish things. I think that Mars and Leo especially is good for like keeping going. Mars does really well in Leo because it's like you always have stamina. You have this consistent ability to show up and just keep on going forever and ever and ever toward a goal. Now, I'm not saying it has to be anything I've said. It could be something totally else. But it can also be that everything I've said helps you with the nutrition side of things because it just makes it, maybe there's like the mind body connection type stuff. But and sometimes when you understand people's psychology, you can use that in any field, right? You can use that in any field where you just understanding why people do what they do is helpful. Or, you know, transformation and change and things like that. Okay, so then let me see what else here. Yeah, okay. I definitely feel telling my story would be a significant moment for me. So maybe there's something there for you related to like sharing emotionally, or even just like doing something publicly that expresses your journey psychologically in life. how you've overcome certain things, how you've gotten to where you are. And it might be there's a few steps ahead first before you get to that place that you want to share about. But that does feel, I mean, it does feel like I feel a very strong potential to accomplish things with this chart. I wonder if Okay, so I'm gonna say something, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I wonder if with Mars conjunct the ascendant in Leo and the Sun in Libra in the third, I wonder if it's like sometimes maybe hard to connect with the vision of what you want, but then once you do, maybe easy to get it. And that my guess is because our sun is what we want, our moon is what we need. You can meet your own needs as you go. And Mars is how we get what we want. Your ability to get what you want is strong. It's stronger than your ability to know what you want. Does that make sense? Because Libra placements do get kind of a bad rap in a way for being indecisive because you'll be like, maybe I want this, but maybe I want this. And then, that sort of ultimate to-do list. And because you're a Leo ascendant, this Libra sun actually is your chart ruler. This is a planet that rules your chart, which means you could find a lot of your time spent learning, speaking, reading, writing, doing third house things, driving, making little trips places. You might really like driving with your sun here. Yeah, I've been struggling with my Saturn return, but have a feeling once I do it, I'll have no worries. Yeah. I don't know if telling your story is going to end up being a career thing or maybe just something you're known for. But I will say this, people with their moon in the 10th house, 1000% of the time, your intentions will show. And that means that if you have good intentions and you go up in front of a crowd, they're going to know you have good intentions and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, she's really good. They're going to feel that. People can see the planets up here, that they're the most visible. And this is it's your emotions, but it's like, it's also your true motives. Okay. So people with moon in the 10th who are doing something shady, I'm not saying you are, but like examples of people like this are Bill Gates and I think Oprah as well, where if their intentions are not pure, people will call you out. So Demi Lovato has it. People will call you out so fast, it's insane. So I'm not saying you're going to have an issue with that, but just that so long as you are operating from a positive intention, that should show, that should come across to people. Um, and then I've never had social media or stuff like that or performed. Yeah, and just don't think you have to now if you don't want to. But if there's a part of you that's been wanting to and this resonates, then trust it. And then just know that that might be a part of your path. Sometimes people with Mars in the first don't want to be seen as much as they want to get shit done. You like getting shit done. You will interrupt people. You might feel bad about it. You might not, but you will interrupt them. Strong Marses will do that. And so, the last thing we'll end on here is you have a very nice conjunction between Jupiter and Venus. So you have your two benefics right next to each other in the fourth house, which, with Pluto here, it makes me feel like there was some really weird or difficult secrets with family, but then also some very, very good support from family. Maybe both of those things. But like sometimes this is your family, like the good people in it and the help they give you or the support they give you. And sometimes it's also your own ability to be good to your own self, to be with your emotions, Venus here especially will you'll really like it when you learn about yourself, when you learn something about yourself psychologically. It'll just be like very soothing to you, and that will build on itself. You could really enjoy meditating, being by yourself, things that deal with emotions, um, because that could be just, that's just what Venus in Scorpio in the fourth wants to do, is like reading books about psychology, or again, I think I said like the, serial killer documentaries or crime documentaries. There is that need and that joy and that love of getting to the bottom of things. And maybe this is shining through in your nutrition, in the sense that, a good nutritionist will find the root cause. So maybe you feel called toward, if you do feel called toward more nutritional things, or more like functional medicine type things, or anything else like that, where you're getting down to the root cause of a thing and finding it, that might actually be something you really want to do. But it could also show up in your emotional life, where it's like when you're upset, you want to know what happened in childhood that made it that way. You want to like visualize going back to the past and healing that moment, or, you really want to honor the emotions and work through them. And Venus and Jupiter will help with that. Yes, reading should still be open. If you can't book, let me know. Queen of Wands. It has been too long. You're here. Oh shoot. Um okay, so Jen, we're going to stop there just because of time. And I hope that was interesting to you to get your natal reading. You can always do a full reading or a transit report at some point if you would like to. Also, everybody, I meant to say this earlier. There are what was I going to just say? Sale. There's a reading sale right now. So if you want to do a full reading, they're on sale for the eclipse. There's a link in the description. It's on my website. All right. So I'm going to actually check and make sure the bookings are open. Yeah. And then Jen saying, yeah, lots of trauma from family, but blessings too. Yeah. Yeah. I think the blessings might be sometimes when there's lots of trauma, it's harder to see the blessings. Um, but like there's got to be some good things there, that it's like it would have been worse trauma if those blessings didn't happen, kind of a thing. Uh, okay, Captain's here, and yeah, Barbara's here. So, okay, so readings are open. Did I check the link? I was going to check the link. That's what I was just going to do. Oh, hold on. Let me fix it. I think I went over on my time, but people are here, so I'll extend it a little bit. Let's see if I can figure it out. It's just the time of it. So let me change it to this. Yeah, no, it works. Okay. I did it till 9. I'm not going later. We're going to be done by 9. Because I will get tired. It's stupid. It does not matter what schedule I have, you guys. It's the weirdest thing. Um, it was a mellow day today too at work. It was just mellow all day. Um, no matter what, I could be waking up at 5 a.m., which I usually don't. So don't think that means I do it. I'm just saying I could. And if I did, I would still get tired at exactly 9 p.m. It's like, it's always been this way too. Like, I know I'm getting older, but like, this was not when I was old. This is like since I was in my 20s, like 9 p.m. It's like there's a shutting down. I can stay awake, but I can't fucking think. All right. So if you do book a reading, let me know in the comments. I've just extended the time since we still have people here. And shout out to everyone who's here. Shout out to the lurkers who don't want to leave a comment but are just watching. Shout out to anyone I know who isn't telling me. I hate that so much. um, yeah, so because I don't know how to make my email give me a ding. I have to fix it. I have to do that, like fix it and like look up how to do it. Anyway, so what that means is if you book, all I want you to do is please tell me in the chat. And like always, it's natal or transit. So you can get a natal reading, which is what we just did with Jen. And in that, it's not going to be everything. It's just going to be what jumps out about you. And I'll just change it now to the transit chart. And then if you do a reading, excuse me, then you can get the transits. Then you can get the transits, which is basically an energy report. Okay, so somebody booked. Let's see who it was. Mary. Under Mary. Okay, got it. So that is still you. Let me find you in here. I'm actually going to... Wait, is it still you? Or is it somebody else? Hold on, did you put in your birthday? Because I have you as October 3rd, but the one you just did is saying August 13th. So let me know what is going on. Yeah, because I have you twice under the October one. I have you in here as Queen of Wands for the YouTube. Oh, shit. Okay. Thank you so much for clearing that up for me and I didn't realize I was sharing this shit. Okay. You're not that Queen of Wands. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There is another person whose name is Queen of Wands who has booked readings with me and who started with I'm so sorry, who started with readings on the YouTube channel. So that is why I totally just thought you were her. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Now I understand. Oh, okay. I'm putting you in now. Mary D. Queen of Wands. Man, I was confused. What are the odds? Are the odds of that really that high? I mean, I know you can have any name and there's lots of people on YouTube, but Okay, so thank you so much. And we're going to do your reading. Let me see, has anyone else booked? No, so if anyone books after Mary, they will be next. And you chose transits, so we'll look at your transits. And I will forever remember that I have two Queen of Wands now. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get this going. And we're getting our timer for 7 minutes. Okay, well, you do have a bunch of stuff going on in the 12th house, which can bring more focus to your private life, your internal world, your spirit guides. But Saturn's here on Jupiter. So, one thing to know about Saturn Jupiter is this is temporary, but sometimes, not always. Sometimes people feel less optimistic because Jupiter's your optimism and Saturn's right there blocking it. If you're normally someone who prays all the time, if you're normally someone who connects with your spirit guides a lot, if you normally meditate or journal or do hypnotherapy or do any kind of work with the subconscious mind, Saturn might be there being like, not right now, or it's going to go slow, or like you try to connect and you can't. If any of that's happening, just know that it's totally temporary and it's going to pass. You're actually going to get a break from this energy soon. We're looking at June of this year. Now, Saturn will come back though, but when it does, let's just see if it makes contact with Jupiter or not. No. So, oh, sorry. So, um, that means that from now until about June, if you are feeling down, if you're less optimistic, if you feel less inspired, or even if your desire to help others is not as strong as it normally is, and you're saying, I do. Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah, it's temporary. So it's totally normal. I mean, I remember that this one hitting me pretty damn hard and being like the month that Saturn got off my Jupiter basically. I remember being like, "Oh, I can listen to spiritual podcasts now without getting pissed off." Like it was a marked, very clear difference for me. So there is that shift coming. Now, when Saturn comes back later in the year, it may or may not have a little bit of negativity again. But if it does, I already passed it. Shoot. If it does, I'll tell you when that will be. It's a ways away yet. But the good news is like June, you might have some relief. And then back in September through around February is when it'll be there again, but it won't be strong like this. The worst of it, you're like at the worst of it right now. So it's going to slowly begin to get a little, I wouldn't promise it'll get better like tomorrow and the next day, but next week, the week after, you're going to start feeling that it lightening up a bit. Okay, so then also the sun is here right now, just bringing a lot of focus to maybe even topics like your own self-sabotage or your own, what you feel like you could be doing better. Your dreams might be highlighted right now too as well. You might have very vivid dreams like today, tomorrow, and especially the 19th. On the 19th, Neptune and the sun meet up in your 12th house of spirituality, a very spiritual, dreamy placement. So what are you doing Wednesday? Because if I had this one and I knew it was coming and I liked to meditate or do Reiki, I would plan on doing it on this day because that's what the energy helps with. It's just going to support that. Now, because the sun rules your fifth house of fun, this could also be like a nice date, or something like that. But if you're not dating someone and you meet someone new on this day, you really have to, that there's a potential they might not be who you think they are, which is always true when we date someone, right? We're meeting their first impression. But if I met someone and I was dating on this Wednesday and I was you, I would be like, let's see how you are in 3 weeks. Just because that energy it's not good for clarity. It's good for like magicalness and a nice vibe and things like that. Okay, good. Your desire to help others is the same. A lot of trolls. Oh no. Oh no. Let me see what could be responsible for that. What is bringing out the trolls, man? Probably Mars opposite your natal Mars. So the only thing is, I think I looked at this already and I think it went retrograde. Yeah, that's my first guess. But let me just see what else. I don't know what's causing that, honestly. Yeah, that's my best guess. I don't know, unless maybe some of this 12th house stuff is it because the 12th house is like our fears, right? So the sun is here. The sun does represent like our public image. And so when it's in the 12th house, sometimes we're more private. We don't even want to be seen. We don't even want to go online. But other times it's like our own public image is obscured a little bit, right? So our own, yeah, our own image and stuff. And then I'm trying to see what else that might be. Not okay. So let me redo that for a married person then. I'll tell you how that applies to married, and then I'll look more at career. Um, it's just like a nice date, okay? Like Wednesday is a good day for a date because your fifth house is like the romance side of things. And with that planet, with Neptune, it's like if you like dressing up or something, then it would be a good day to do that because you can like Neptune rules like the image that we put forth that isn't technically real, right? So like makeup or stuff like that, it's like not really, it's like the facade, right? So it could also be like a movie or something more creative. And it could also be, this Wednesday, you just doing something more creative where you're checking out of reality a little bit. And it might not be about the partner. For career, all right, so Saturn rules your midheaven and your 10th house. So we look at what's happening to Saturn and we look at what Saturn's doing. Well, you have um, Venus and Mercury going to retrograde. And they're going to make contact with Saturn like in the next week. Now, that doesn't mean they're already retrograde. It's fine. It doesn't mean something bad for career, but it kind of does feel like there might be a going back over something that you've done before. I'm looking for something bigger though, because that's just like, it's not really super, I don't want to say important, like it's not important, but I'm just seeing what is going to make contact with the midheaven next. Hey, hold on. Oh, yeah, Uranus. I do see a possible career change. Do you expect to be changing jobs in the next couple months? Because I do see a change of some kind. Doesn't have to be a job change. It could be that changing your position within your company. Like it doesn't have to be a loss, I mean. Um, yeah, cosplay. Exactly. But it is kind of a change, and I want to see if Uranus was here before. Yes, it was. So we're gonna go back in time for a second to figure out what this might be. Yeah, so what happened? Something probably not good. The 17th of July 2024 in your career. Was that a job change or loss or a sudden, unexpected thing you had to fight for or something? If anybody else is booking, you have to do it like now. Okay. So then, were you still unemployed then? Or was there some kind of change in that at that time that led to unemployment? And are you are you like trying to work? Are you okay how you are? Do you want to know more about like if the tarot thing could become bigger or something else? While I'm waiting for that answer, I'm going to turn off the booking because I just hit that moment of knowing I have to stop now. Oh, you broke your leg just a few days before that and had to stop working. And that was in July of 2024. Okay. Then we're going to keep going with this and see what the next thing is. Because the next thing is when Uranus went retrograde over that point, and that would have been, okay, let me see when that was. Around October. Did something else change in October related to that initial moment? That could be like, okay, got it. That could be like, I don't know, maybe you started more tarot back then, or maybe something changed with if you got unemployment, like the money running out or the money changing back then or something. Well, and I'm also noticing while you're thinking about that, Pluto was on your midheaven then as well. So it's like really pressuring that surrender. It really does. Pluto doesn't always wash something away, but when it does, it's usually something we kind of wanted. And it's like we have to let go. We have to like practice surrender. So, whatever happened in October, think of that as well. And then now we have the next kind of change. I mean, if you're wanting to do tarot, I can't promise that when Uranus trines your midheaven, whatever you're doing to get tarot will grow. But whatever happens, this is going to happen on around the 28th of April. And if I had this in my chart, okay, you had a hurricane. Did that affect your money or your whatever you were like really focusing on at that point if you weren't working whatever you were doing? That's crazy, and I hope you're okay. Ah, hurricane got in the middle. Okay, so the story here I'm feeling is that Uranus hitting that ascendant, it disconnected that work, right? And then the hurricane, it's like Uranus going back over it. It's like, oh, you want to do it, but you can't. And now the difference this time for this coming April is that it's forward, it is direct. And Pluto's not there anymore, causing surrender. So the only question is this going to be tarot or are you going to get another job? Like, is there a potential for you to heal and get better and work again? Like, is that on the table? Because Uranus trining the ascendant from the money house. After this whole story we just figure it out has to be something good. I mean, it doesn't have to be something good. It's likely that it is a change that causes work, a change that whatever you're doing now is going to be different from that. It's like the universe didn't want me to work at all. Okay. Um, well, I think we'll have to stop here because I've gone over, which I chose to do and everything, but I'm just realizing I could do this all day and forget what time it is. You know what I mean? But like, this is a big moment coming up. Just like when you broke your leg and had to stop working, except the aspect of surrender isn't present. So instead of surrender, we have a change to your reputation, what you do in the world. So if you're not working now, this means working. I mean, there's really not much else it can be. Um, I can't see if it's working doing tarot or working doing a job or working doing something you want to do or doing something you don't want to do. That's the part I can't really see. Um, but what I can see is like Uranus transits are like once in a lifetime. Like they don't happen all the time. You're not going to have Uranus hit your midheaven in a classical aspect for many, many, many years. Like 15-ish. So that doesn't mean you can't make changes after this. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would say that maybe once you move again, maybe once you move again, you will be getting something. I mean, that's what I would think. I would think that you're going to get something. Now, maybe it's tarot. Maybe you do something and then you figure something out and you're like, oh, yeah, I could do this full time. Maybe you just get one client, you know what I mean, who's like, tells all their friends and then you get fully booked and you're good. Like that is a possibility. Or maybe it's something else like that where it's like you figure out how to sell a reading and you try a new method and it works. And then it works so well that you can just run with it. I don't want to promise something magical though, because we never know what that changes. Maybe it's like you have to go to work and you're like, man, I didn't want to have to do this, but then you do and something opens up. So it could be something you like or something you don't like, but it's definitely like, if you're like, oh, am I going to have a career change? Absolutely yes. And it's going to happen soon. That's my answer. Um, yeah. And with Jupiter still making a sign-based trine to Venus right now, there is a potential to grow your income right now. So it might not be, it might not be like the biggest, like this isn't like lottery winning because it's already past that point. But and maybe, maybe it's like your partner is making more money and that's where that more income is coming from or something, but I would say that as well. So I'm going to stop there just because of time. I think I did go over a little bit. So just know that if you do another one in the future, um I'm usually better at staying closer to the end of the timer. Okay, and anyone else watching who is like, I wish I got a reading, you can actually book a full reading with me right now. They are on sale. I'm doing an eclipse sale. And so the eclipse sale is a 50% off reading with me. So I'm going to drop the link right now just to my website and you can go to my consultations. No, no, it doesn't mean you could have. It means that um, usually the benefits that planet has given would have been the highest when they were there. And so whatever it gave, maybe it wasn't money, maybe it was stuff. Maybe someone gave you a bunch of stuff. Maybe you got new clothes. Maybe you had a huge, like a bunch of food, or like, I don't know, something else where what you have, what you own, or your finances became more or had more possibility. Usually it's more money. But no, it doesn't. Don't think of it like that. Don't think of it like you could have. Just think of it like it's not an energy you're coming into. It's an energy that it's actually moving away now. So, you will get the residual benefits, if that makes sense. Okay, so if anyone wants to book, there is that link in the chat. And I also do usually have a link. Let me make sure I do. To my website in the description of the video. And they are also, the link is also in the channel description as well. So you can check that out. You can, yeah, Queen of Wands. It's like when a planet moves toward a thing, it's called applying. And then when it gets there, it's called perfected. And then when it goes away, it's called separating. So the idea is that like when it's on its way there, we're building up to that energy. And then once it's there, we're in that energy. And then once it starts moving past, we're moving away from that thing now. But it's still making an effect. It's just like we're in the after effect of it. All right. Okay, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do, you can book a private reading. They're on sale. The link is there. We're going to do a eclipse video soon, maybe in the next couple days. And then we'll probably do some live readings again. So if you didn't make this one and you really need a reading, you can get in on the Zoom calls. You can get a private Zoom call with me. Or if you did make it and you want to go further, now is a good time. In between eclipses is a good time to do spiritual work because it's like we're in that in-between zone, and it's just perfect for like introspective things. That's what I think. But I think it's always a good time to get a reading. Of course, I'm biased about that. Anyway, I hope to see you all soon.